In this video, we will go over the unboxing and first impressions of the SVS PB-2000 Pro. Full disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. SVS sent me this subwoofer, but they do not get to see a preview of this video, and this will be a totally unbiased and honest review. And in the box, we have the owner's manual, and there is also a power cord. Just the two things. The sides are well protected by some very hard cardboard, so that was good. I'm lifting the box up. The top and bottom are protected pretty good. And there is the grill, and the grill is made of plastic. And I'm trying to get the plastic out here. It is heavy, so it is usually a team lift, but I managed to do it on my own. And here is the first look. There's this beautiful driver, and the finish is black ash. This retails for around $1,100. Those are the port plugs that come with it. The grill looks really nice, but let's remove the grill because we want to take a look at how the driver looks and how the ports look. So I'll remove the grill. It's very easy to remove. Just push them out of the bumpers here. The grill itself is made of some kind of plastic. It is very rigid and strong, and because it's plastic, looks like it is super straight, no warps or anything. And another good thing about this grill is it kind of blends in and it covers the driver as much as possible and prevents dust from entering this area in between the grill and the driver. So I like that they shaped it in such a way that this is not just exposed on the sides. And I think even the cloth used is very nice. There's the SVS logo here right down at the bottom that adds to the finishing touches. The driver here, this is a 12-inch driver. Behind me there is a monolith that I just unboxed. The review is right up here if you want to click on that later, but that is also a 12-inch driver. This 12-inch driver seems much more lightweight, and I can see it vibrating, and it responds to the sound coming from the receiver much more, and that could also be because of the amplifier, which we'll talk about later. But a 12-inch driver, and there are two ports in the front. The only minor negative that I see about these ports are they're kind of protruding here. They do not kind of blend in with the wood. There is like a seam that you can see here, but most of us would want to put the grill on, so it might not be a big deal. But I would imagine if this was a much more expensive subwoofer, they would blend these ports in with the rest of the front panel. And while we are at it, let's go over how this looks. It just looks like a box, and this finish is a very popular finish. There is a seam of the veneer underneath the subwoofer, so nobody's gonna see that. It is wrapped around like this, and under the subwoofer there is a seam. And there are spots here on the edges where you can see two ends or two sides of the veneer meet. There is like a little bit of a white unfinished line, whereas the piano black finish on this guy, it has no problems as such, but not a big deal. But it is not the best of finishes, and you cannot buy this, as far as I know, in the piano gloss finish. SVS does not sell this in the piano gloss finish. And the shape, folks, see, this is well-rounded corners. I like that, and that is similar to the monolith as well. By the way, I'll be doing a separate video comparing in detail the monolith THX M12 V2 versus the SVS PB-2000 Pro. So stay tuned, and please consider subscribing because there's going to be back-to-back videos. In the next video, I will be covering detailed measurements, and I'll be showing you how to measure the subwoofer's performance using the Room EQ Wizard and stuff like that, and microphones that I use to measure them. So a lot of stuff with measurements and fine-tuning coming up. Getting back to the SVS PB-2000 Pro, I put it on some furniture pads so I can move them as easily as this. Now we're still on the front panel, so let's go over the material used in the driver here. The driver has a huge magnet assembly. It's over 15 pounds of magnet assembly, so that's a lot of magnet, and that goes to show in the power that this can produce and the kind of low bass this goes to. And speaking of magnets, there are two magnets in here. They're kind of attached together in the assembly, and there are two ferrite magnets, similar to what most drivers have. They just combine two magnets to give it a beefier magnet assembly. And it has a 1050 aluminum vented cone. So the driver is lightweight and it responds to signal very nicely. When it comes to subwoofers, the driver is just potential. What produces quality bass is a combination of the driver along with the amplifier and also the cabinet that this is housed in. This cabinet is made of MDF and this one is HDF. The subwoofer weighs 65 pounds, not too heavy, and I say not too heavy because I just dealt with 115 pounds of a similar 12-inch driver subwoofer here. So I don't think this is that heavy. I have these on furniture pads so I can move this around very easily, and that gives us a chance to take a look at the side. Now would be a good time to talk about the feet. SVS says this is ISO elastomer feet. To me, they're kind of very rigid rubber feet, so it is not squishy. At the same time, it stabilizes the subwoofer assembly. And now let's turn this further and look at the back side, because that's where the amplifier stuff is. And right away, you might see this blue light here and this whole assembly. That's because I'm using the SVS's wireless adapter. A review for that when ready will be right up here if you want to look at that, so I don't have to run wires all the way from my receiver to the subwoofer. So that is what I'm using here, and there's the power cord that came with it. Just an on-off switch. So there are line level and LFE inputs here. So those are the inputs here and those are the outputs, and this USB port is actually to power my SVS's wireless adapter, just a power source that helps you run power through USB to your wireless adapter. And you might wonder, there's not a whole lot going on the back panel, and that is because these buttons, they are all in one. And by that I mean, so subwoofers usually have phase, crossover and level knobs, just like this guy had. All that can be controlled using these buttons here. So as you can see, there is volume here. You click on volume and now you can see the volume right here. It is all the way to a few dots. I don't know what exactly this is right now, but possibly at 10 decibels. And I can click the plus button and that will keep increasing it. So see, now it is on to this dot right here. And as I keep increasing it, the good thing is the light when you click on it first is very light blue, and if you can see that, very feeble blue, but as you click more on it, it kind of turns brighter and brighter and brighter and goes on to the next one. So let me reduce it. So you can use these buttons here to reduce the volume. And now for the phase, I can just click the phase button here and use these to go from 0 degrees all the way to 180. So I love variable phase knobs or variable phase controls on subwoofers, because when you measure the response of your subwoofer's output, you might want to adjust some delays and stuff. So 0 and 180 flip switch, they don't help out all the time. I love the variable phase knob that helps in timing the signal in such a way that all your subwoofers and speakers, they blend together. And that is why there's not a whole lot to talk about on the back panel, because SVS also provides a convenient app. I installed it on my phone. I haven't played with that a lot. In my next video, I'll go over the app in detail and how to get the best out of your subwoofer using this app. But so far, the app is super responsive and there are no lags. I like clean bass. I don't mind it rattling the walls a little bit. You can have custom presets, so those are inbuilt presets that SVS comes with, like movies and music and stuff. But I'm yet to break in this subwoofer, so I'm not gonna talk about the performance a whole lot in this video. This was first impressions, unboxing, and letting you see how this looks from all angles. And when it comes to subwoofers, size does matter, and let me go over the dimensions. The height is 20.9 inches and the width is 17.3 inches. So not super big, but the depth is something we have to consider. So conclusion from my first impressions of unboxing this, using it for a few days, and this has so much power that you can hear it from any room in this house. So the capabilities are endless. However, I'm going to put it to the test and more videos coming up with test results and comparison with other subwoofers. I hope you enjoyed the first impressions unboxing and some close-up shots of the SVS PB-2000 Pro.